Hello and welcome to this week's video. Have you ever struggled to make a black subject, like a black cat, look vibrant and alive, only to end up with a flat, lifeless painting? You're not alone. In oil painting, black isn't just absence of colour. It's a complex tool that can make or break your work. In this video, I'm going to show you why tube black can actually flatten your paintings, how to mix a rich black, and then how to lay your rich black to add depth, subtlety, and life to your art. By the end, you'll see how even a painting dominated by black can feel colourful, dynamic, and full of atmosphere. So let's get started. Number 1, what black really is. Many beginners assume black is just the absence of colour, but in oil painting, black is more complex than just a pigment. Black has unique properties that affect light, colour and composition. Black as a pigment versus black as a value. As a pigment, black is a substance made from charred or synthetic materials. Examples include ivory black, Mars black and lamp black. Each has significantly different characteristics. For example, ivory black has a blue leaning, whereas Mars black is slightly warmer and is very opaque. As a value, black is the darkest point on your scale of light to dark. Even when mixed with other colours, it can shift the perception of depth, weight and contrast. Understanding this will help you avoid overusing black and flattening a painting. The misconception of absolute black. True absolute black is rare in pigments. Most black paints are actually very dark mixtures of coloured pigments. Using pure black straight from the tube often produces flat, lifeless areas because it absorbs light rather than reflecting it. This is really important when tackling something like a black cat. If you are wondering why your animals look flat, have you overdone your black from a tube? In contrast, blacks made from mixed pigments have subtle colour shifts that give a painting life and richness. This is why I always choose to mix my own black, and it is what I have done in this painting. Why knowing this matters. Understanding the nature of black allows you to make informed choices, when to use it, when to mix it, and how it interacts with other colours. Number 2, the problem with pure black. Using pure black straight from the tube can actually cause problems in oil painting. Black can flatten your painting. This is because black tends to absorb all light, giving areas a heavy, dead appearance. It can also destroy subtlety and shadows. You don't see reflected light or the underlying colour of that shadow. Remember, shadows in nature rarely contain pure black. They are usually deep mixtures of colour reflecting surrounding light and environment. Black can also make the colours next to it appear duller and less vibrant. And if you use purely black to adjust your values, there is a risk of muddying up your colours. Notice how vibrant my oranges and purples look in this painting next to my black, but I have also managed to achieve some very dark passages too, just by mixing my own rich blacks from the colours on my palette. Number 3, creating rich blacks with colour. If you are finding your black is flattening your painting or deadening your surrounding colours, the alternative is to create rich, vibrant blacks by mixing your own, just as I have done in this painting. These black mixtures give your painting depth and subtlety that tube black can't. Why mixing black works better? Firstly, nature rarely produces pure black. Shadows are almost always combinations of colours influenced by surrounding light, so it is best to try and account for this in your artwork. Secondly, mixing colours to create black allows you to use warm and cool palettes and take advantage of transparency and opacity. For a painting to be successful, it must have a balance of warm and cool temperatures within it. Thirdly, rich blacks can enhance contrast, maintain colour harmony, and make the painting feel more three-dimensional. There are quite a few combinations of mixes that you can use to make a rich black. If you would like to know more about these different mixes, have a look at this video on my channel. But for now, let's have a look at my palette. I am using a palette of cadmium yellow light, yellow ochre light, transparent yellow oxide, cadmium red, transparent red oxide, alizarin crimson, ultramarine deep and titanium zinc white. I have also mixed up a number of other colours. a black red and a black green. These two mixed together give me that dark black you are seeing in this section here. My red is my warm, my green is my cool. This gives me the ability to shift temperatures on my painting. I'll explain how that works later. I have used this black exactly like you would a black from a tube. If I want to darken a colour, I can add either of these two colours or both. I have also mixed up a purple that leans towards a red-brown and two other oranges. Lastly, I have mixed up another green which is lighter than this one. Notice that I have set out my mixed colours with my warm colours along the top and my cool colours along the bottom. I would suggest separating your mixes like this. If you need to separate your tube colours, you can do this too. Just remember that red, orange and yellow are your warm colours, red being the warmest, and blue is your cool colour. Green and purple are transitionary colours because they can be both warm and cool. Organising your palette in terms of warm and cool is really helpful for a painting that uses a lot of colourful blacks. If you struggle to understand what is warm and what is cool, put up a colour wheel in your painting area and just remember that colour opposites always contain one warm colour and one cool colour. For example, red and green, orange and blue, yellow and purple. When you place opposite colours together, they look amazing and always work. Notice my rich black is a combination of green and red. Notice also in this painting that I have a strong presence of orange and blue. Even in a painting which has so much black in it, I am ensuring that I have a balance of warm and cool colours, thus making my subject feel more convincing. The way I organise my paintings is always to have a warm colour next to a cool colour. Very often it will be its colour opposite. For my very dark sections, I will mix my two blacks together. However, depending upon what is next to it, depends on how much of each I use. So where I have warmer orange areas, I will use more of my green. To lighten my black and push it to a warmer orange, I add this orange plus some yellow ochre light. This gives me this warm brown. Where my black gets lighter but cooler, I add more blue and some white. I am pushing this lighter black towards the blue because blue and orange are opposite colours. I know it will work. For these ears, I use more of this black red and just add yellow ochre light. I then blend this into the darker areas around the edges of the ears, making sure I have a cooler transition here. I then use the same colour combination but a lot less black for my sofa area, and I push my blue towards a cool purple for my blanket area. For my background, I mix my yellow ochre light and my cadmium yellow together and add white. I lay my white over the top in a broken colour effect. Remember that white is a cool colour, so that gives me my warm cool transition here. What are the benefits of using a rich black? They interact with surrounding colours rather than overpowering them. You can definitely see that this painting is very harmonious and also very colourful considering it is black cat. The shadows made from mixed blacks can have subtle colour shifts when the light hits them, making the painting more dynamic. It is difficult to see in the photo, but try this way of painting yourself and you'll definitely see these shifts. Plus, the mixture I use is transparent and this gives another dimension to the painting too that you just can't get with opaque colours. You can take advantage of a warm and cool palette and this will ensure you have a balanced painting. To sum up then, the next time you reach for black in your oil painting, remember, it's not just a dark filler. It's a powerful tool when you use it thoughtfully. By understanding black as a pigment, as a value, and by mixing your own rich blacks from colours, you can create shadows that are deep, dynamic and full of life. Using warm and cool blacks, balancing your palette, and paying attention to colour relationships will make your paintings feel more vibrant and three-dimensional, even when the subject is mostly black. Try experimenting with your own rich black mixes, observe how they interact with surrounding colours, and watch your paintings transform from flat to captivating. If you would like to come and paint with me, join my workshop on the 3rd of July. You'll find the link in the description below. There are also more details of lesson opportunities on my website, Sarah Halliday Art. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future painting tips. Thank you for watching and see you next week.